Day 20, Phase 2 closes tonight. Hi, I'm Dr. Rivka Edery. I'm the author of Spatial site, and welcome back. So what's Day 20 about? Well, it's the same discipline as Day 10. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to tell you that you've come a long way, or that I'm proud of you, or that the hard part is behind you. Those things might all be true, and none of them would be worth anything because you would have no way to check them. Instead, we're going to open the record and look at what it actually shows. Bring all 20 days, put them in front of you. And tonight, I'm going to ask you to do something specific and slightly uncomfortable. I'm going to ask you to hold Phase 2 to the promises it made, because Phase 2 made 3 promises. On Day 11, the book Spatial site told you exactly what these 10 days were supposed to produce. Not what they might produce, not what you can hope for, what they were for. Tonight we check, not whether you feel different, whether the 3 things happened. If they did, the evidence is on those pages and you will be able to point at it. If they did not, that is also on those pages, and I would rather you find out tonight than carry an assumption forward into, into the last 10 days. So here are the 3 promises from the book on the opening page of Phase 2. This phase asks you to begin noticing recurrence. Configurations that appear across multiple sessions, zones of the surface that consistently attract or repel cards, and somatic responses that have become more specific. 3 things. 1, recurring configurations, shapes that appear across multiple sessions. A split, a spine, a satellite, a collapse, the named patterns arriving more than once. 2, recurring zones, regions of your surface that consistently attract cards or consistently repel them. 3, sharper somatics, responses that have become more specific. The jolt, more you're able to locate it better, easier. The weight more distinct from the jolt, your instrument getting finer. Now, those are testable claims about the last 10 days. Every one of them can be checked against the pages in front of you tonight by counting. That is what we're going to do. Not reflect, not feel, count. And I want to say clearly before we start, it is entirely possible that 1 or 2 of these did not happen for you. That is a legitimate outcome, and you need to know about it. A milestone that can only report success is not a milestone, it's a ceremony. Test 1, count your shapes. Go through all 20 maps. You drew them, they are sitting there, and write the pattern name beside each one. Split, spine, satellite, collapse, solar system, or none of the above, which is a legitimate entry. Then tally them. Now here is what you're looking for, and I want you to hold both outcomes as equally acceptable before you start counting, because otherwise you will find the one you want. If one shape appears far more than the others, say you have 11 satellites in 20 sessions, that is a finding. Your hands make a particular shape. That is a real, countable, defensible fact about your practice, and you now know something about yourself that you did not know this morning. And if they are evenly spread, 4 of each, no dominant pattern, that is also a finding. It says your layouts do not have a characteristic geometry, and that is worth knowing too, and it is a more honest result than most people in this field ever produce, because most people never count. What you must not do is squint. Do not decide that a loose scatter was sort of a solar system, because it would make the tally more interesting. Score the shape on the page, not the story it grew into. You have heard that sentence before. It applies to more than the lexicon. Test 2, and this is the one I want you to actually do with a pen and paper rather than in your head. Take a blank sheet, draw the outline of your surface, and then go through all 20 maps and mark the void region from each one onto that single sheet. 1 page, 20 voids overlaid, and then look at it. If they cluster, if there is a region of your surface that has been consistently empty across 20 independent sessions, that is the strongest signal your log contains. A zone that keeps refusing to be filled 20 times is not a coincidence in the way that a single empty corner is. You have found something that is worth taking seriously. And if they scatter, if the voids fall all over the surface with no pattern at all, then no zone is being avoided. Your voids are incidental, and you have just killed a hypothesis for the price of 10 minutes and a blank sheet of paper. Killing a hypothesis cheaply is a good night's work. It is the second best outcome available to you, and it is enormously more valuable than never having tested it. Now, before you get excited about a cluster of voids, remember day 11. Rule out the boring cause first. Are you right-handed? Are you left-handed? Do you always sit on the same side? Do you rotate the table when I asked you to back on day 11? And if you did the void rotate with you? If you never ran that test, run it this week, because a void that follows your dealing hand is a fact about your shoulder, and you will have spent 10 days interpreting your own biomechanics. Test 3. Somatic specificity, and this is the promise most people cannot assess because it happened too gradually to notice. So do not assess it, read it. Open your day 3 somatic log and read what you wrote. Then open day 19 and read that. On day 3, most people wrote something like something, a slight pull, or nothing much. One undifferentiated category or none at all. A vague report from a body that had not yet been asked to make distinctions. Now, read day 19. And I do not know what yours says, but I would expect something closer to sharp catch, third card, right index finger, and distinct from the weight on card 7, which was lower in the palm. Count the distinctions in each entry. Location, quality, duration, which finger, how it differed from the card before and the card after it. That count is your somatic resolution, and it is measurable, and it is on the page in your own handwriting. And notice this is the same test I gave you on day 10 with the geometry sentences applied to a different faculty. Same method. Count the units of information. The field did not become more informative. Your hands did not develop new nerves. You simply became able to distinguish things that were always there. That is what training a body is. It is not the acquisition of sensitivity. It is the acquisition of discrimination. Now the audit. 4 questions in writing tonight, not in your head. In your head will pass. 1. How many patterns did I kill this phase? Count them. Actual number. And if the answer is none, if not one candidate pattern died in 10 days of pattern recognition, then you were not testing, you were collecting. Those are different activities, and only one of them produces knowledge. A phase in which nothing died is a phase in which nothing was tested. 2. Did I ever resolve a mismatch instead of recording it? Day 16. When the geometry and the cards disagreed, did I let the tension stand, or did I quietly decide which one was right because an unresolved session felt incomplete? 3. Did I round a partial up to a stable last night at 11 o'clock with both passes in front of me and nobody watching? I ask because that was the exact moment I warned you about on day 5, 14 days in advance, precisely because I knew it would come. So did you? Go and look at your borderline pairs. Read them again, cold, this evening. Would a stranger call them the same impression? If you were generous last night, fix it tonight. Not by rewriting the entry, but by adding a line. Reconsidered day 20, downgraded to partial, dated. The correction is data. 4. Is there anything in my log that could still not possibly be wrong? Any claim so soft that no observation could ever violate it? Find it and mark it. It is not evidence, and it never was.